Hi everyone, welcome back to The Shelves Have Eyes. I'm Phantom, and today we'll be doing another Miniverse Make It Mini Potions from the Harry Potter collection. Alright, let's see what we've got inside here. Oh, okay, well they give you the instructions first. So, it's Felix Felicis. Excellent. This will be fun. I like the little standard vessel that it comes in. Read me first, I will not. Brass, mortar, and pestle, and apparently a candlestick. Got to be collecting candlesticks here, it seems. Something I don't know what it is. It's pretty, and a little ground up grain for the shimmer that Felix Felicis has. Tongs and a stirring spoon. Brass, not silver.
Butterfingers?
Copper. Oh, wow. Am I being a cheddar head or what? This is really difficult today. Ah, the little apparatus that holds the vial.
Butterfingers?
That's cute. Warped, but cute. Our cauldron. And our little cord and label. I almost threw away the cork. I was wondering where that was. All right, let's make this thing. All right, so this looks like everything we need for Felix Felicis, or Felicis. Felicius. Felix Felicis. I think I like Felicius more than Felix Felicis. Doesn't matter. Alright, so the instructions look fairly simple. You, once again, crush an element in the mortar and pestle, add it to the cauldron, put hairs into the little vial, dump the resin into the vial, cure, label, done. So this looks fairly simple, so let's get started. First we're going to crush these little silver balls. The instructions don't specify how many of these little silver jobbies we're supposed to crush. I'm just going to do about half. I have not forgotten about the debacle of the Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent. So, alright, so let's start by crushing up these little guys. I will say that I believe these guys are crushing up much nicer than the other things that we've had to pulverize, so. Alright, that looks fairly uniform in terms of crushing. These aren't chalky balls. They're kind of an odd, almost like crushing craypaw. So the little pieces here that look like larger specks, there's an oiliness to them that I think is holding them together a little bit. Because as soon as you roll the pestle over it, it does seem to, or is it the mortar? It does seem to come apart back into dust. Hopefully that will be okay. We'll see how that goes. Now we're going to open the resin container. Oh, okay. There we don't go. And once again, we're going to mix this in a handy dandy resin cup so that all you wonderful people can see what's going on. Hopefully we won't end up in the same situation where they will not have given us enough resin to actually complete the project. Oh yeah, there's still a lot. Alright, so now we'll dump our dust in. So I guess now we just mix this all up. So as we're mixing, you know what time it is.
Nerd!
So, Felix Felicis. Lore-wise, it's a pretty late comer to the Harry Potter series. Although they did do something retroactively that I thought was very interesting, but we'll deal with that when we get to it. Felix Felicis was a potion created by Zygmunt Budge, I guess in the 16th century, and he considered it his crowning achievement as a potioneer. It is, quite simply, liquid luck. In terms of the main story, its first appearance is in Half-Blood Prince. During Professor Slughorn's first potions class, which Harry and Ron took part in, the class was given the task of brewing a draught of living death. And Slughorn stated that the person who brewed the best draught of living death, or the most perfect draught of living death, would get a very small vial of Felix Felicis, which would roughly be enough for about 12 hours of luck. Now, it's important to note that just like many of the other potions we've discussed here, and we've brewed, in quotation marks, brewed, Felix Felicis is extraordinarily toxic in large doses, mainly because of the effect of the potion itself. So, liquid luck does not manufacture luck, as the name would suggest. It doesn't affect the person outside, it affects the person inside. It's an effect that comes not from without, but from within. The user of Felix Felicis believes, while under the effects of the potion, that everything is going their way, that they see all possible variations of their actions and how those actions could affect any number of their overall goals. So you might, as Harry did when he took the potion in order to extract Slughorn's memory of discussing Horcruxes with Tom Riddle, he simply takes everything that's happening in stride and feels as though he is perfectly attuned to everything that's going on. No matter what happens, no matter what obstacles appear, he knows that there are possibilities, or as he says, Felix knows, there are possibilities to get around everything and to eventually achieve success in his endeavors. And it's very interesting that when he finally does take the potion in Half-Blood Prince, he manages not only to get Slughorn's memory, but he also manages to completely combust Ron's relationship with Lavender Brown and Ginny's relationship with Dean Thomas, therefore fulfilling another one of Harry's goals, which is trying to get with Ginny Weasley. Fandom aside, you can say whatever you'd like, but for the purpose of this, we're just going to be examining the books. Despite whatever personal opinions we may have about Ginny Weasley, or any personal opinions we may have about that particular relationship. It's very important to note that Felix Felicis is not foolproof. It's stated that Felix Felicis will allow you to succeed at any endeavor. However, it is with the stipulation that it is an endeavor in which you can succeed. That's the purpose of it. It allows you to see all the different possibilities, but if there is no possibility of success, it will not help you. It can't manufacture a miracle, so to speak. So, for example, if you were to give a vial of Felix Felicis to first-year Harry Potter and pit him against completely resurrected Tom Riddle from Goblet of Fire, there is no way that endeavor would succeed, so Felix Felicis wouldn't allow him to succeed. It would allow him to survive, probably, and it might allow him to see possibilities that would eventually lead to Tom Riddle's downfall, but it would not help him succeed in destroying Tom Riddle at that moment because, for all we know, it is an absolute impossibility for first-year Harry Potter to have won any kind of one-on-one fight with Tom Riddle. That's important to note. This looks very nice. Contrary to what this potion looks like, Felix Felicis in the books is described as looking like liquid gold. and that it bubbles and it spews little globules of itself out of the top of the vial, but those drops never spill. It never spills, it never pops, it never causes a mess, it just boils merrily in its little container. So this is really just kind of milky white opaque with a lot of gold flecks in it. So I understand where Miniverse is coming from here, but I don't really think that this is really doing much of what the book described. All right, so that's pretty well mixed. And now it says that we need to put these little golden fibers into the vial. So let's take a look here. Now it's important to note that, once again, none of what we're doing is how Felix Felicis is described as being brewed or appearing in the book. The ingredients for Felix Felicis as it is given out in the novels is ashwinder egg, squill bulb, murtlap, tincture of thyme, okami eggshell, and common rue. Of those ingredients, ashwinder egg is a snake born out of fire. Squill bulb, we have no idea what that is. Murtlap is the ingredient used in murtlap essence, which stems bleeding and is a healing agent when it's pureed and brewed. Tincture of thyme is just tincture of thyme that actually does exist. The okami eggshell, and we don't know what common rue is, but we're going to assume it's probably something very commonplace like common potion water, which is just water. You would mix all of that together, and then you have to wave your wand over the potion in a figure 8 and say Felix Sempra, and then the potion is done. But apparently it is also an extraordinarily tricky potion to make. Now here's where what I said earlier about the book's retconning something. There is supposedly a vial of Felix Felicis sitting on Snape's desk in the potions classroom. And it's very important to note that after Felix Felicis was introduced in Half-Blood Prince, it's explained that because Felix Felicis is so tricky to brew, the vial of Felix Felicis that's sitting on Snape's desk is actually brewed improperly and will actually grant bad luck as opposed to good luck. And it is essentially a trick that Snape pulls on his students if any of them have the temerity to attempt to steal it from his desk. Wow, this is just not working. Oh, God.
Butterfingers?
Oh. I mean, I know I'm... Okay, fingers it is. For anyone that attempts to make this set, please be aware that the vial itself has a little bit of a static charge that seemingly both sticks the strands when you stick them into the vial and also repels them when they are not totally within the mouth. Alright, so it looks like all of those are in there now. So let's put the cork back in this horrendous vial of things. Alright, let us now pour this in. Okay, well, it looks like unlike Flesh-Eating Slug Repellent, they actually gave you too much. So this is a little too much of the resin. I'm going to have to get rid of some of this. Yeah, I'm going to have to decant a little bit more of this out because otherwise we won't be able to get the cork in. Some of this out, and then I'll clean the spout so that we can get the cork in after it is cured. Yeah, that looks like enough. Alright, so that will go off to the side. Let me just clean this up. Okay, as we see here, the threads are visible here. I don't know if they're supposed to be like truly visible or whether they're supposed to be like Polyjuice Potion where they're just kind of waved into the middle of it. I kind of want to stick a toothpick in there and just move it around a little bit. But then we have to do this whole thing all over again in terms of cleaning the lip of the vessel. Oh, actually, I did that fairly cleanly. All right, so let's cure this and see how it comes out. Okay, so 5 minutes later, this is all cured and set. So I'm going to put the stopper in it. And there was a little package of tag and cord fiber color. Again, I can already tell I'm going to make a dog's breakfast out of this. Oh, this is actually really nice because this is much stiffer than the normal cord that it comes with. Still don't have a pen with a nib small enough to actually write anything on this. So it will be mystifyingly blank. Yeah, this has like a weird aglet at the end. It's made out of metal. It's very stiff. So it's making this kind of difficult. Yeah, that actually hurts. I just stabbed myself. Yeah, both ends are slightly wire at the end. Seems kind of strange, but... Completely lost sight of what I was doing there for a second. All right, so there you have it. Well, I think that this was fairly successful. Looking at the potion itself, it does look like the picture that was provided. I mean, I think you need to do a lot of finagling to make it look exactly like the picture. The picture has these golden threads spiraling through, which I think is something that you'd have to do if you cured in layers. And I mean, even then, I only crushed maybe 6 of those pearls. I mean, there's still half the container left. And it is so opaque that with so many little golden motes, I don't even see how you could see the threads in it. I mean, I see them slightly collected at the bottom, but they kind of just disappear in the middle of this. So I don't think that that's a great idea. To be honest, with all of these potions from at least this wave, I really don't ever see the need for the hairs. The hairs or the fibers or the threads that they give you. Polyjuice Potion made sense because you're supposed to add a hair of the person you're trying to imitate. This doesn't make any sense. I honestly, I mean, I think without the hairs, it looks pretty similar to how the potion looked in the movies. Clearly not how it's described in the books, but they're going for screen accuracy rather than lore accuracy here. On the whole, though, I think that this came out fairly well. It was a very simple, easy project to make. I'm kind of irritated that this stand is slightly bent. And also, this vial does look like the vial from the movies, but it's huge! Like, how do you scale that with the rest of the vials for the other potions in this series? It's enormous. It's kind of like the Polyjuice Potion vial. Are they making it for industrial purposes? Are you making a huge batch of Felix Felicis here? I don't know. I know that they're trying to make it look exactly like it did on screen, and there's only so small you can make something. Especially if you want it to read as being the same shape and still be able to fill it with something. I get it. This particular project was also weird because they just gave you another candle. Like, what use does a candle have for me? I got 2 with the potions classroom. I think there's another set that has another candle, but why would you even include that? I mean, maybe they're trying to fulfill a weight quota for each capsule, that they want to give you the value of having something weighty. I don't understand it. It doesn't really make much sense to me, especially since having an open flame next to potions is never a good idea. But you know what? I'm going to hold on to the rest of my comments because, as I've stated with virtually every single one of these potion sets, I have a lot of problems with the way that MGA approached it. But this is pretty cute. The vial's neck is not long enough, so it just kind of is lopsided, and the cork isn't large enough to actually fit in there very nicely. So you end up with not a lot of cork sticking out of the end, and I feel like this vial is kind of just a mess. The fact that this is bent really gets me bent out of shape. But I feel like this was a very simple project to do. There weren't a lot of steps. It was very easy to understand, and everything came out exactly the way I expected it to come out. Sure, it doesn't look like the picture, but I swear that all of these MGA pictures are computer generated. I swear that these people do not actually make the projects the way that they lay out the instructions. But for what this was, for the ingredients we were given, and for the time taken, I think this was a success. So did you make this set? Did you have difficulty with it? Do you think that it came out successfully? Do you think that the instructions made sense? Do you think that it looks mildly like the on-screen version that you see? You let me know in the comments. I'll be continuing along in this series, and hopefully we'll see a series 2 eventually. There's still quite a few projects left in this run. I'm still have my fingers crossed for that Mandrake route. It's the last rare, ultra rare, or limited edition that I'm missing for it. But I enjoyed doing this. I hope you enjoyed watching this. If you like this content, please consider liking and sharing this video and subscribing to the channel so you know when the next video drops. I've been Phantom. This has been The Shelves Have Eyes. Have a good night, y'all.